All right, what is up, guys? Happy Wednesday. Let's get straight into it. We'll start with commodities as we do. Start with gold. We're pumping up here locally. There you go, compression played out beautifully. We'll see if this is going to be a first move, fake move scenario, which it can be. But this might also just be the move to create that first range deviation. So, like, at least for now, I can see that we've left some demand behind right here. Boom. We'll validate this on the lower time frame as always. Like, it has been mitigated on the lower time frame, but we can still use this. Yeah, it's been mitigated ever so slightly, but a lot of this move still has quite a few imbalances, so we can use this as an overall demand POI. Contextually, we are now bullish on the hourly. That's pretty clear to see. I'd assume we're bullish on the 2 as well. Well, we went bullish here. And then we went bearish. That was our 2-hour high, and that got broken as well. So yeah, we're pretty much... We could actually be bullish across everything here. So yeah, we're bearish on the 2, on the 1, on the 4 as well. Ah, yes, because that was the 4-hour low, correct? Okay, no, that's irrelevant now. And then the daily, looking at the daily, bam, bullish, yeah, okay. So yeah, pretty much bullish across the board here on gold, so just be mindful of that. Be very mindful of that for gold. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot more I'm too interested in. Get rid of that alert. Yeah, just not a whole lot I'm expecting at the moment. If anything, I would like to see something like this happen. Boom. But we'll see. Just keep in mind that, yeah, most time frames are bullish here, so expect us to go higher. This was just a higher low for a high. This is a potential higher low for a higher high on a much higher time frame. So let's just see what happens. And yeah, we had a okay accumulation model here. Was quite stretched, as you can see. Let's have a look at our duration. Tap 1 to tap 2, 5 days, 8 hours, 30 minutes. Tap 2 to tap 3. Okay, valid. Valid accumulation model. Well, 2 accumulation models, as a matter of fact. But yeah, let's let gold do its thing. I do think we will go higher now, at least for the time being, so not a whole lot I am too interested in doing just yet. Silver looks quite bullish to me as well. We've swept that liquidity. Obviously, we're bullish on the 3 hour now. Probably bullish on the 4 as well. Yeah, I think this is our 4 hourly high. Yeah, because there's no valid structure here from this high to this low. And that has been broken now. So bullish on the 4 as well. And then looking at the daily. For now, we're still bearish on the daily. So everything else is fairly bullish. And we have created quite a bit of demand as well in the process. All right. But yeah, from a local standpoint, I don't expect much from silver just yet. I think we're going to continue high and complete this range. Yeah, we'll leave that as is. Not a whole lot to do really on silver. Looking at oil. Yeah, so oil, we had this, not the cleanest looking range, which we did speak about yesterday. Obviously, we do have the weekly open above us, so that can be a target later on, but still quite bearish, at least for now. Not valid structure, by the way. So the hourly highs are all the way up to here. Just an FYI there. So do expect lower. Point being, maybe a very minor scalp here, but I think the Asia low has already been taken, if I'm not mistaken. No, it hasn't. Okay. Maybe we get a little oil scalp here. We'll see. My question is this valid demand? Let's have a look. Not really, not valid demand. So that's a good thing. It favors this potential distribution forming. At the moment, I am favoring a Model 1. We also had a very little distribution here. Everything has been grabbed. At the moment, we have left behind liquidity, so just be mindful of that. So yeah, so at the moment, which is what I was saying earlier, is we are favoring a Model 1. Because if we continue to do this, this is now extreme liquidity. As much as it's grabbed this, but it's created liquidity in the meantime. So ideally, we want a return to zone back up, sweep this, and then dump, and then we can, take a break of structure in here and short it all the way back down. And then other than that, this just needs time. This just needs quite a bit of time. But yeah, let's see if we can scalp something today. Context is on the low time frame, it's very in our favor. And then the daily low is still right here, so we can expect to go lower. But yeah, let's just see how this develops. But so far, I don't mind this. I really don't. All right, moving on, USD CAD. I'll tell you what, this looks nice on USD CAD's behalf. I just don't know how relative it is. Or relevant. Or have we deviated? I don't think we've deviated that. I think we've made a... Yeah, that's not valid. Unfortunately, this is not valid, guys. That is just the way the cookie crumbles. Sometimes in these markets. Can't have it all. Well, this was our hourly high. Which has been broken ever so slightly. So this does count as a bullish break. Although I do have a feeling that we might still be bearish on the 4 hour. I could be wrong. Oh, is that valid market structure? No, it's not. This is not valid structure, so we are still bearish on the 4 hour. And then on the daily, very much so, still bullish on the daily, and probably still bullish. Oh, yeah, still bullish on the weekly, obviously. Yeah, I mean, like, at least for me now, context is someone like kind of neutral, I guess. we have just shifted to bullish on the alley, so expect us to go up into this 4-hour market structure high, which is around here. Yeah, this is actually a valid 4-hour market structure high right here. So we will take note of that. So yeah, I do think we're going to at least trend high until this market structure high on the 4-hour. And I think we're going to either SFP it or just continue to push through and be bullish on the 4-hour as well. So look for accumulation scalps if possible. Don't rely on them though, but like regardless at the moment, there's just no clean accumulative price action. So I wouldn't be rushing just yet, to be completely honest. If you really want, you could look at this as a potential range, but very similar. It's left behind quite a bit of liquidity, so I would only be looking for a model 1 if we are to even get it, which I don't think we will. I think we're quite deep into the range here for us to come back down and get a model 1 and maintain the time duration. So yeah, let's just see what happens here. But yeah, let's just leave this as is and see what happens. Moving on to USD CHF. We are moving towards that weekly open. And we are within this range as well. And we are still bearish, yeah. We are quite bearish here, to be completely honest. There might be an accumulation scalp opportunity here, which is semi-counter context. I don't like how we've already grabbed Asia high and Asia low is below us. So I'm not really looking at this as an accumulation anymore, to be honest. Like it just seems to be quite low probability here. You've got such a nice liquidity target right below you, so I don't think we're gonna. Yeah, I'm just not looking. Honestly, I'm not even gonna chart this up because I'm just not interested in the price action. So I'm not going to chart up something that's going to be low probability. Could this be valid demand? Curiosity is piquing my interest, but no, mitigate on the lower time frame, and there's no valid overlapping demand on the 1 minute. There might be on the 30-second, but that's just too low time frame for me to really care. Yeah, I'm just going to let price do its thing here. Not a whole lot to do. We have ever so slightly mitigated this. So yeah, valid mitigation there. But yeah, let's see how this range develops. I do still favor a distribution that will get created during this week to take out their weekly open towards the end of the week. So let's see what happens. So yeah, we'll leave USD CHF as is. Nothing really clean to work from. AUD CAD is gone to bullish on the hourly, I believe. Running through supply, creating demand in the process. Yeah, very much so bullish across the range here. Maybe a local top there. It seems like there might be a local top information here. Maybe to come back down and mitigate some of this demand. Yeah, heavy range. Like, I would be very reluctant to short anything here. Like, this is very bullish price action at the moment. Yeah, given how bullish this price action is, this also means that I'm not too interested in anything locally. Like, yes, there is a local top here, but we're trending up, so expect us to bounce and continue higher at any given moment. So I will leave this as is, favoring accumulations. Yeah, it's just not a clean range, let's be completely honest. Yeah, leave this as is. Euro NZD. We are still bullish on the hourly, as we can tell. However, on the 4-hour, we are still bearish. Given that, I am willing to potentially look at a distribution right here. Slightly higher time frame, but as always, let's see if and what plays out. We have pretty much failed this demand, as you can see. Like, we didn't really respect this whatsoever. We've gone straight through it, so you can see that it's quite insignificant. Well, oil has grabbed some form of liquidity. Well, in terms of Euro NZD, I don't mind the price action here. I really don't. What would I like to see develop? There's no real demand here to mitigate. There's no real demand anywhere, to be honest. Like, yes, you have this, but it's at the bottom of the range, and I don't really count demand that's connected to the bottom of the range, because the bottom of the range acts as a magnet when price is that close to it. Yeah, look, if we get a nice local return to zone, we could get a little scalp here. De-risk after Asia low has been grabbed. Okay, it is a fairly neutral range at the moment. Bullish on the hourly on the weekly, and then in between they're quite bearish. So I'm willing to see how this develops and just leave this as is. We'll move this towards the top. Now, before I move on to USD JPY, let me see what oil was doing. Yeah, not really clean. I feel like it does want to go higher. We'll see what happens. USD JPY. Yes, obviously USD JPY is in this high time frame distribution schematic. Maybe we might get a scalp here. I wouldn't necessarily count on it. We've also created a little bit of demand, which isn't exactly connected to the range low. So we got this here. This is our range. Asia low. Oh, but then we do have the Asia low, which is just another great magnet. Asia low. So the demand, yeah, it's too fair. The more I look at it, it's not the cleanest demand. In case you didn't pick up on it, the demand that I was looking at was this. One, it's been mitigated on the lower time frame. Yeah, it's not really a clean demand, so we can sack that off. And we have the Asia low below. Yeah, this is a valid model, so I am willing to potentially scalp this. Contextually speaking, yeah, still bearish. Yeah, let's see what happens here. I don't mind the price action here. I really don't. We've even created more liquidity here, as you can see with that low and that low. So yeah, we might be able to catch a little scalp here, but this does have room of error because we can go higher to mitigate this supply and or eventually create the third tap of the higher time frame distribution model. So just keep that in mind. But as of now, we've got a lovely looking potential local model, so let's keep our focus on the local model. Yeah, let's let this develop. We'll move it towards the top. GBP AUD. Well, we never got that third tap confirmation, and we have since then also ran into demand. Well, are we still bearish though? That's a great question. Yes, we are. And we're now also bearish on the 4 hour. However, we are still bullish on the daily. But from a local standpoint, as you can see, there's not really quite a lot going on. Like, we've got liquidity above, but we have broken structure too bearish on quite a few time frames. There's just nothing that's of interest to me at the moment. We also have left behind some liquidity here, just an FYI. So yeah, nothing I'm too interested in just yet. We'll keep the ball rolling. Well, off the bat, I'm going to look at this range, but I don't know how clean it really is. DL tool wise, it's fine. I will just allow it. Still bullish. Yes, it's still bullish, so that's the only issue with it. Bullish on the hour. Obviously, we're going to be bullish on the 4. Are we bearish on the daily still? That's my question. That's the daily high. Yeah, still bearish. So yeah, it's an interesting one, this. We've got beautiful liquidity at the bottom, though. What I would do here is look for a accumulation to distribution scalp. That would be my plan, to be honest. We've got Asia high up top, which looks nice. We're in the process of creating a little range low at the moment, or second deviation. We've got supply here. Valid supply. I will need this supply to be mitigated before I make any further decisions. We have some refined supply here. Yeah, valid. This is actually quite valid. It has been mitigated on the lower time frame, but there's still a lot of this which hasn't been mitigated. And we are also in demand. So yeah, interesting range and interesting price action at the moment. We're looking for a, not the right tool. Yeah, essentially I'm just looking for a accumulation, which I can then long into the third tap of this distribution, which I can then short back down. Contextually speaking, we're bullish on the low time frame, so this is going to favor me more than this distribution will at this point in time. But obviously we still need confirmations, and I'm not looking to long anything until we've mitigated some of this supply for this accumulation scalp. And then we might have some supply here, which we do. This is my supply POI from a third tap perspective. And this is my extreme liquidity POI from a third tap perspective. So quite a bit going on at the moment on NZD-CAD, so we'll see what plays out. But yeah, let's see what happens here. So yeah, I've charted everything up that can be charted, and now we're just going to play the patient game. Long stretch, but let's see if we can get an accumulation into a distribution. Time will tell. But yeah, so far the return to zone here is really, really nice. Yeah, it's honestly beautiful. So let's see what happens. We'll move this to the second for now. Euro USD. Still bullish. Obviously, we're going to be still bullish on the 4 hour. Given we are bearish on the daily, we might have a distribution model here, which could favor us quite a bit, as a matter of fact. But nothing just locally yet. So yeah, let's see what happens here. I'm just going to leave this as is and let price develop. Locally, nothing is of interest to me just yet. Yeah, focus on the high time frame range. GBP, JPY. Okay, so we are very much bearish here. Maybe something like this happens. I think it will. I don't know if. I feel like just based on this candle closure here, which isn't a wick right there, I feel like we're going to push higher. So that's something I'm just a little bit wary of and not too like eager to just rush into a trade here. Obviously that's been mitigated, but then we do have some refined demand in here. Obviously a question we all want to know is this demand backed by anything? So let's find out. It is backed by the volume area low, so just be mindful there. If I was to ever trade this, I would need a mitigation of the demand first before making any more decisions. So let's just, yeah, see what happens there. We're a while away from even the hourly high. The hourly high is like, yeah, it's all the way up here. So, yeah, we'll leave this as is. GBP USD. Still bullish. Yeah, still bullish. Obviously still bullish on the 4. Daily is bearish. Yeah, still. I will monitor this range within the high time frame range, but I'm not gonna. I'll still put my importance on the higher time frame range I played, which is this. But look, if we get a clean, anyway, if we get clean confirmations in here, then I will happily trade this lower time frame range. So we will see what happens there. Euro GBP. Or there was that distribution there. Then we ended up being bearish on the hourly. There was an SFP, another SFP, so we are still bearish on the hourly. And then the 4 hour is bullish with an SFP there on the 4 hour. And then we have mitigated supply here. So it is kind of like an awkward range, I guess, at the moment. Yeah, there's just not a whole lot going on in this price section here that I'm too interested in. So I will leave it as is. That's ever so slightly been mitigated. But then if that hasn't, this has. So yeah, let's just let price develop to its thing here. AUD USD. We might have something here, but we're going to need a lot more price development. Not to mention, I think we're still bullish on the hourly, which seems like is correct. That is correct. Yeah, bullish on the 4 as well. If daily has broken to bullish, then I'd be very cautious in the distribution here, but it has not. So this could be a lower high for a lower low, so we'll see. But yeah, at the moment there's just no real clean confirmations, but we have a range. So let's be patient and see what happens in this range. I just don't like how we have distributed here originally, and then we've come back down, and then we've come back up past this point of distribution here. But yeah, I need more price development here, full stop. So I'll move this towards the top for now, but I need more price development. This has been mitigated. Interesting. Okay, we've done Euro GBP, GBP NZD. We are bullish on the hour. We're still bearish on the 4 for now, but we might be bullish on the 4 as well quite soon, depending on how the closure is. And then the daily. Daily is very much so bullish. So yeah, just be mindful there. So yeah, semi-neutral environment here. Not really interested in the price action just yet. I expect us to go higher. And then AUD CHF has pushed past. We're in supply. We're in deep supply. Oh, no, technically no, not deep supply. Yeah, we've just mitigated everything that there was to mitigate in terms of supply. Like, we're still bullish across everything, but we're just in an area of supply, so we can't expect exhaustion. I will monitor this range, but still a while away from price developing, and price has spent quite a bit of time at the range low, so the volume area, the volume profile wouldn't be the best on this in this range. And then we've also left some sort of demand here by the looks of it. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, valid demand. So yeah, let's see what happens here. But same thing to the other range I was talking about earlier. For me to even look at a distribution, I will need this demand mitigated first and foremost. But yeah, you're looking for a distribution in counter context environment, so just be mindful of that. But yeah, that is it in terms of Forex and commodities at the moment. So in commodities, our main focus was this oil price action, which looks like we're looking to go higher. Yes, Asia low is intact, but we're spending too much time out on the edge of this range. So you want price to wick and reclaim the range immediately, which is exactly what's not happening here. Prices come out of the range and is still spending time out of the range. So this is already becoming less and less invalid as each second goes by. And then, yeah, silver and gold. We're just playing the patience game here, really. Silver, look for it to hit this range high. And then we have some demand in here. Very minimal demand, but it is demand. And then gold as well. I think we're going to deviate this range. Which then, if we do, we can then look at this as the range pull, which does make sense. So what the range pull would look like to me, yeah, we'll just leave it, but it would be like this. When we get the deviation, that is the range that I'll be looking at. Boom. So yeah, let's see if that happens. I think it will happen. It does look like it. But it is very counter context of bullish across everything here. So if we can look for accumulation scalps, we'll look for that. And then, yeah, in Forex, we have a few things at play potentially. We got this play on Euro NZD, which we need price to start coming back down. It hasn't just yet, so we'll see when that happens. And then this move is looking less and less likely as we speak on NZD CAD. And then we've got USD JPY, focus on the higher time frame range here. Yeah, focus on this range. And then USD CAD. Unless I didn't chart this, but oh, is this that I was? Yeah, this was the one. Oh, no, this was not what I was looking at earlier. I'm not too sure as to why I missed this. I think I did chart it and then just didn't save. I could be wrong. I'm going to watch this back. Asia low. Yeah, this honestly looks fine. It's just bullish on the hourly, so you just got to be mindful there. But it's obviously bearish on the 4. And we're in supply as well, so expect us to start coming down, but let's see if we get any confirmations. Oh, okay. I think this is, yeah, this was it. Sorry. We deviated this, so it's not a valid, second tap. That makes sense. I remember this. So yeah, don't be fooled. Not a valid second tap, ladies and gents. And yeah, that is it for Forex, I believe. And everything else is just still prices developing, AUD, USD, see what happens there. And yeah, a lot of other models just ranging at the moment. Yeah, no real POI here for price to come back into, unfortunately. That was the extreme liquidity which got grabbed. So technically it is a already confirmed and we've gone quite high into our boom. Yeah, we got a confirmation in London essentially. Oh yeah, but then this was the one where the Asia low was ungrabbed. yeah, with Asia low unswept, if it's part of the third tab, then it's not a valid liquidity POI. But if it's part of the second, it can be still a valid liquidity POI. So yeah, this range is not at play. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Thank you for listening, for viewing, subscribe if you have made it this far. And yeah, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.